I have spent probably thousands of hours in this timber, but it's been so long since I've been on the trails, worked on the trails, that I almost can't find my trail. I'm not even sure the horses can find them at this point. And erosion, floods have really changed the landscape down here. I'm trying to find a good place to sit and talk, and it's just really not working. Don't worry, I'm not lost. Alright, this is the goodest place at any. Well, there's someone's deer stand. I wonder how many trail cameras caught me wandering around with a camera in my hand. My name is Jen. I started this channel, I started the channel several months ago, just watching things, and then I decided to change it from some random name to Jen on a Journey, because this is kind of a different phase of my life, on a new journey. And I just have too much to say to keep it to myself. The bottom line is I have suffered from depression and anxiety for over 10 years, diagnosed probably 10 years ago. And looking back at my symptoms and everything, it's probably been going on 20 years or more. But 20 years ago, they didn't really talk about it like they do today. Before, you just dealt with it. You just dealt with being sad or having the blues and the stress. You just worked through it or whatever. And now there's more resources, definitely. There's also more excuses. There's a fine line between dealing with a problem and having a severe psychological chemical problem, I think, personally. And first and foremost, I am seeing a counselor. I've been seeing someone for probably about 2 years. And I am on medication. But I needed several someones to kick me in the butt to get there. I didn't want to go on medication. I thought I didn't need it. This wasn't the problem. But when I had to fill out that form at the doctor's office, have you ever thought of hurting yourself or others? And I had to answer that question more than once. I think it was 3 times, if I remember correctly. And the option was, to try with diet and exercise and seeing if that helped. And it wasn't, just the overwhelming reality of life and the sudden realization of what was actually going on. I realized I did have to go on medication. And then I thought, I don't need a counselor. I'm okay. I can figure this out. And a couple years ago, my marriage started going south. And when I talked to someone in our church about what was going on, she goes, no, I think you need to consult someone more of a professional. And that's when I started counseling. It started as a marriage counseling thing, and moved into, I need this. I need someone to talk to. I need someone that understands the psychology of my situation. And now I am going through a divorce. Life has been not the worst out there. There are definitely far worse circumstances, but it has not been easy for me. I have a toddler that I did not cope with. Someone asked me if I had postpartum depression, and I said, well, probably, but considering all the other underlying things, you know, who's to say it's really postpartum versus how I was? I am still seeing the counselor. I've always seen a chiropractor my entire life, even in utero. My mom was doing chiropractic while she was pregnant with me. And I love chiropractic work. I can feel the difference in my body from it. But then I saw that he had acupuncture available, and I thought, well, you know, try it, see how that works. And I don't know, and also Chinese medicine. He also does some Chinese herbal medicine and stuff. I don't know which facet of all this finally got me to today, but I'm telling you, it's totally different. My mental clarity, my mentality is totally different than 6 months ago. I could hardly function 6 months ago. I was maybe what you would call high functioning depression, high functioning anxiety. I don't know. I left my husband in September of 2024 with our toddler. My dad died in October. He was one of the closest people I had. I spent most of my time with him in this timber on these trails with our horses. Everywhere I go, I see him here. And that's not what necessarily keeps me away, but sometimes coming back is harder than others. I would have to talk myself out of a panic attack being alone with my daughter, having to watch her. And I didn't realize that until several weeks after I left my husband. And I may or may not get more into that it deals a lot with his privacy. It just wasn't healthy for me. Let's put it that way, and I'm not sure that it was healthy for my daughter either. So again, I wanted to create this channel because of the journey that I am on to hopefully get better. I finally started exercising again. I've gained about 80 pounds in the last 6 years or so. 7 years, I think. Actually, 8 years ago from about now, it was my lightest point, and that was because I had mono for close to a month, and it just, that was rough. So 8 years ago, I was at my lowest weight since junior high or something crazy. And after that, I just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until I was about 260 pounds. Didn't want to exercise, didn't care what I ate or how much I ate. I just wanted to eat. And I've posted a couple shorts, whatever, Instagram, YouTube, starting that exercise back in the exercise thing. But I wanted to do an introduction to the channel and explain why I'm here. I don't know that it will be super regular. I might peter out at some point. I don't know. Life gets busy, and with the anxiety factor, sometimes it's just too much and I have to cut something. That's just the way life is. And I have a job. I work at a veterinary clinic. I work with great people. It can be high stress because clients are not always nice. In fact, probably the majority of them are not nice. Like I said in the beginning, if I needed people to push me through the door for medication, for counseling. I needed things to line up like they are in order to start exercising again, watching what I eat. I know it's much healthier for me, not just physically, but mentally as well. Exercise has many benefits. I just had zero desire, like negative desire, to eat decent and exercise. And I have a goal for mid-November. I'm not gonna disclose it yet, because there's a good chance that my body will fall apart if nothing else. And but if you're like, no, I don't need medication, no, I don't need to see anybody, no, this isn't wrong, you don't know. Like, when someone asks you, have you thought of hurting yourself or others 3 times? When you're with friends and you're close together and about the only thing you want to do is scream and escape and curl up in the fetal position. When you can't function like you did last year, things set you off for no reason. When you feel like something just is tightening a hold of you and you don't know why, you don't know what's causing it, everything's not fine. It's not. I shouldn't have to fear taking care of my daughter. I shouldn't have to force myself to take care of myself. So if you're in that rut, reach out to someone. Me, a friend, total stranger. There's thousands of groups out there. Facebook, Instagram, Threads. I don't know whatever else out there are. Thousands of places that you can ask questions if you're not ready to take the step to talking to a licensed professional. And I hope that by documenting some of this, I can encourage others to find that path as well and to make the leap into getting your life back on track. You know, like if I wanted to make an analogy, this timber has hundreds of trails. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on them, maintaining them, riding them with the horses. Right now, I'm not sure the horses can find it. The deer and squirrels and everything else have forged little web paths, and I know where the car is. I know where home is. I know where things are. And for a long time, I guess you could say, I was mixed up in the web of trails. I knew where it was, but I couldn't get there. I knew that diet and exercise was needed in my life to regulate myself, my stress, my body, but I couldn't get there. I knew my kid could be fun. I couldn't get there for a long time, and I'm finally getting there. And I hope everyone can, because we are increasingly condescending, critical, selfish. And we shouldn't be like that. The more people are, the worse it gets. So I hope, if you find me, that one sliver of what I said sticks with you. And like I said, go find a group somewhere to talk it out a little bit, or a friend that you trust. And maybe consider following along with me. I still need lots of support and motivation and people kicking me in the butt to continue on my journey. And so far, I have not told anybody else that I'm doing this. I've kind of blocked the people I know from my Instagram account right now because I'm just too embarrassed. But it's kind of hard to block them from YouTube, so eventually someone will find something. So, wherever you are in your journey, I hope it's to somewhere good. And if it's not, find a different trail. I think I finally found my trail, because this was not the one I was on earlier.